Hey everybody out there, Bear Bull Traders. Good to see everybody out on YouTube. It's been a while since I've been here to do a recap, and I'm going to do something a little bit different for y'all. Whenever the boss is out climbing mountains or doing all those fun things he likes to do, we're going to start doing recaps of not only our trades from our moderators, but I'm also going to highlight some trades from the community because one of the things I want to show you guys is why Bear Bull Traders is the place to be. So today in our recaps, we have myself. We also have a recap going with Brian, our own Prophet of Profit who crushed the open, and we have Paris on as well, who got an insane trade on Tesla that I'd love for him to share with y'all today. Paris, if you do not are not familiar with him, has been absolutely crushing it lately. Great courses on Trading Terminal for tape reading, as well as some great elite courses here. So I'll go ahead and get started with mine, and then I'll kick over to my buddy Brian. Brian, how are you doing today? Before I get started, man.
Very good, very good.
Awesome,
So
man.
yeah, no, had a good day today, and a good way to end a shortened trading week. So let's get into it.
Right on. So I kind of had a boring start to my day, but I've already got my trade up on here. But basically, the market kind of sold a little bit today. For me as a range trader, I needed it to get down lower in the range before I could get a trade. So I let it sell off for a little bit. I bought the bottom here and I set a nice 4-to-1 target basically. So I have a nice one and done. Today I'm using a Camarilla pivot levels combined with volume by price. So if you guys want to learn more about that, obviously come by the channel or come by the chat room. We can teach you all about it. The real signal here, which a lot got in here, was this really beautiful hammer. I know you and I kept talking about this, Brian. You were saying, man, this looks like they're trying to do a false breakdown. And I was like, yeah, I think they're going to try and do a spring here. And sure enough, they dipped right down, hit those orders, and then ran. You'll see later, Paris timed his long on Tesla with that, which is gorgeous. But before that happened, you got short on Tesla. So what did you do there? I know you nailed that right off the open.
Yeah, yeah, no, Tesla was obviously on my watch list for the open because it's usually a pretty good mover, usually fairly predictable when it starts to move in one direction. The other thing I was watching pretty closely was the cues, and Tesla, in the absence of any sort of news, often will move with in the same direction as the cues. So just putting those two charts together, watching the cues fail soon as we started to get into the open, because it was looking very weak going into the open, and it really just started to break down through the low of the pre-market, and then flipping over, looking at Tesla at the same time. Popped up a little bit at the open, but I was just watching the VWAP and that level, the previous day low, yesterday's low, and Tesla was just struggling right at that level, and I kind of figured that was a good opportunity to take an entry short on that, because I thought it was going to follow the cues, and pretty much worked out right as planned, and got in over 182, and then got my last fill to cover under as we just broke through the 180, where there was like a massive amount of bids there. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
that
you and
was
I were
the
talking
just
about that.
one and
We
done.
kept saying, man,
Yep,
180's just tons of orders down here. And sure enough, look at the
yep,
volume, how the two of those pair together as we go through 180. Look how we
yep,
get our biggest volume of the day. So that's a really good book read there.
yep. So that was really just need one good trade, and that was one good trade. I did Paris is long. I know he's going to talk about that with Tesla. I did short some puts at 180 because that's where we seem to be holding, and I've covered most of those now and made about 50% on that. Basically essentially long by shorting the puts. So yeah, good day overall. Thank you, Tesla.
Yeah, absolutely. So another person who's going to thank Tesla is our man Paris here. So I'm going to pull mine away, and now you can see Paris's screen here. Paris, brother, I know you said you woke up a little bit late. Sometimes that's not a bad thing when you can come in and hammer a little good long like that. And what is that now? An ad?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So So let me talk about what the thesis that I had on a. People who know me, I would have definitely taken this shot at this point on the what exactly what Brian did. This is a pullback, and this is a very good area to short. But the buyers were very strong. The tape was very strong at this point, and I thought that this is not a short. This is actually a long. And I did try to take on the long first side, but there was a very clear seller on the tape at 181.69 or 67, and I stopped out at break even. I said, this is not ready for buy now, but it's a short now. So I immediately flipped my position on the short side, cover, cover, cover. And then there's a completely flip on the order flow, or rather on the tape, where the buyers were completely started being in control. And that's where it came up with a very strong volume, and I stopped out at break even. Now it came held above the initial seller area, which was 181.69, held that area very strongly, and that's what gave me an indication that, you know what, the buyers are completely trying to take control, went heavy, and this was also a break of the previous pivot, and then it continued on a very strong move on the upside. Now, I even just when Thor was actually doing his recap, I even added to my position, because you want to add to the right areas and for looking for a break of a high of the day again. So let's see how it turns out, but really, really solid trade on my part on Tesla.
Very nice, man. Yeah, Paris, man, that was awesome. And I
Yeah,
do think I
nice.
actually recall Brian at one point when he was getting into that Tesla trade saying, "I'm channeling my inner Paris right now."
Yeah,
I do believe
yeah.
that was a thing.
That was a Yeah, I was definitely watching the rejection. Yeah, how the time and sales were going, and level two, watching how it was just not going higher when we hit that PDC or previous day low level. So yeah, you can always learn from other traders, and you can always take something that they're doing and incorporate it into your strategies as well. So
100%. And speaking of that, well, like I said, one thing I want to do is I want to highlight is if you look up here in our trades column, I asked some of the Bear Bull Traders community to post some of their trades, and you can see here we've just got some absolutely look. We've noticed here a similar trade taken by T here, went long and got this beautiful pop on Tesla. You can see in the chat room here, Tund here played the short on Tesla, similarly with Brian, right? Lewis here, short on Amazon, right, with some covers, and then a flip long into a long right off of S3, kind of similar to what Paris did on Tesla, actually, just, obviously a little bit different. But notice the similar entry indicators and concepts here, right? Gerard, you can see a long here on AI and got a beautiful move on AI. Great squeeze on AI, Gerard. Homelander, long here for the move on Tesla. So, I mean, you guys can see, for those out in YouTube, if you're looking for, a good supportive place to be, there's a lot of rooms out there, that's true, but most of the rooms aren't gonna, they're really trying to teach you one specific thing in a very specific way. And we're here to, we've got a lot of different traders trading a lot of different styles. So, I would encourage you guys to come by and check us out. Looks like we just had a real push in volume on Tesla there. I believe my man Paris just added in a little bit more, which I think is a great decision. So we're going to close on that. We have Good Friday tomorrow, so the markets are closed. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. It's been fun trading with you all, the BBT community, this week, and we will look forward to doing it again next week. Gentlemen, thank you for your time and hanging out with me and doing this recap. I hope you have a good one.
yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.